Care Chats. Care Chats with Tanya, Mark, and Nick. Care Chats. Care Chats with Tanya, Mark, and Nick. Grab a mug of care and join us for some Care Chats with Tanya, Mark, and Nick.
Yes, please.
Welcome back to the Queer Spirit Podcast. We have a special episode for you today. If you were unaware, there is actually a Queer Spirit UK as well. We formed completely separately of one another, but we found each other across the planet. And we have a special guest today, which is Shokti from Queer Spirit UK. Shokti is a spiritual activist and a Faerie Witch, and he is one of the primary organizers and facilitators of the Queer Spirit in England. And one of the main things that they organize and do over there is a summer festival. So I actually had Shokti on the podcast back in the day in season 2, and we talked about Queer Spirit Festival then, and we have them back. We have them back here once more to talk about how things have changed and evolved, and the ways that he is holding space for the queer spiritual community in the UK and for those who are passing through. So enjoy our chat.
Here we are across the pond, right? As you both are saying, and the queer spirit, care, and community, we're finding each other,
yes.
Right? In a time that is so important. So to our listeners, this is, Nick has met with Shokti before, right? Queer Spirit UK, and have come on and had an iteration of sharing time. And now here we are, the three of us.
Yeah.
Together.
And we met in person last.
And I'm all about.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm all about bringing us together, bringing the queer community together for that caring, that healing, that community, that consciousness, expanding our consciousness of who we are, who we've been historically, and who we are in the world at the moment. The evolutionary capabilities of our nature once we embrace. I'm all about that. I bring together people in London every month for a full moon drum circle, where we open the gates and bring some magic into central London, right in the centre of the gay dance district there. And I also organise a Queer Spirit Festival, which is having its 10th anniversary this year.
Woohoo.
It's actually our 6th festival. We're very excited. It's our 3rd festival on the site that we're at now, which is the best site we've had. It's the perfect home for us in Devon, in the southwest of England. We're expecting around 800 people. So, 800 queer spirits coming together for that shared purpose of caring for the earth, caring for each other, caring for our community, of communion with the nature, communion with the ancestors, communion with our deeper selves. Coming together with that as our sort of goal, and it's a celebration. It's a festival. So this is it's the Lammas season. So this is the time that we come together to celebrate this. We also have retreat spaces and quiet spaces where that much inner work can be approached more quietly and gently. But this is a queer spirit festival, folk. It's like gay pride for 5 days.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, so lovely. And to listeners, we'll make sure to provide information. I want to invite us all to take a breath together. And I think what you're talking about and this idea of sharing care and community with others, maybe we might take a turn and go under the hood and say, how are we filling our individual mugs of care, and talk about what care might look like from internally. So if we could just take a breath and a stretch. Oh my God, Debbie Harry's eye is the best to look at while stretching. Yeah, I love that. Maybe we can bring it to the internal, and what might that look like? Nick, what does your internal mug of care currently look like?
Well, I will share that just this last weekend, I guess I was filling my mug of care and filling other people's mug of care at the same time. So I was sort of being in community and being of service, doing a sound bath, in-person sound bath, acoustic, no plugs, no wires, no nothing, which I always love because that's just another layer of complexity. But yeah, I was at the Wellbeing Fair here in San Francisco, put on by Mark Morozumi and Makunda Studio. And that was at the Harvey Milk Recreation Center, which is a really lovely place to offer care, to honor someone who was really supportive and fought for the rights of the queer community. And yeah, I was just offering care in that way and really tuning into myself. And I've also been, with some of the things I've been doing lately, I haven't been over planning and just showing up and see like what's going to happen, and just being really honest and authentic in my process and saying, I didn't plan for this. I don't know what's going to happen. So we're all on this ride together to see what happens. Or also just being more honest in public ways about like, hey, right now this is what's on my heart. I'm feeling anxious doing a public speaking gig here, or I'm feeling sad or overwhelmed. And, just because I'm here guiding you and supporting you doesn't mean that I'm not, that I have all the answers. So I think, I guess maybe the way I've been supporting myself is just being more authentic in the way that I show up, particularly in a public way. What kinds of things have you been up to, Shokti, supporting yourself personally on a personal level?
I've been retreating. I've been retreating into Earth element quite strongly during the winter. I am an Aquarius, but all my planets apart from Saturn are in Earth. So I'm very, I understand the power of Earth and the power of stopping and relaxing. And taking an organisation of a festival does bring with it a degree of mental challenge, anxiety, and I can remember from previous years of doing it, getting to the point of festival and realizing just how much my mind has been running with it all the time. So, I'm trying to approach it differently this year. I don't want to be just running on that track for the next 6 months. So self-care at the moment is about retreating and centering. To help that process along, I needed to get myself out of my regular environment in South London for a little while. So I went to South Africa. I went to the land of sunshine and rainbow people. And so 3 weeks in the nature out there, just where there was nothing to do but goes deeper and deeper into stillness and recharge in the sunshine. So a few weeks off from actually trying to work and write and think and speak to people, and I feel recharged from it. That was my intention. I'm back in the UK now. Right now I'm feeling particularly equinoctial. I was thinking that it definitely describes my state, in that I'm sitting in the center. There's the shadow. There's the light.
Ooh.
There's no question. I'm both well illuminated. I know exactly what's going on everywhere. And there's nothing I can do at the moment but sit in the middle and sort of hold my center.
Wow, you just gave us like the new vocabulary word of the year. Equinoctial.
Yeah.
It's the time of year of balance, isn't it? But obviously always, but they're feeling it such power. In the micro and the macro. In the macro, what's going on in the world. We know the world is, people are ascending. We know people are seeking light. People are building community. We know they're seeking solutions. There's so much positive change in the world, but the darkness, the balance, so in the macro and the micro, I'm experiencing it all right now.
Yeah. How about you, Tanya Mark? What have you been up to, taking care of yourself?
Oh my gosh. For spring equinox, I've been working and been honored to attend a virtual Kundalini activation practice with Alexandra Michelle. This will be my 5th year actually with Alex. and she offered a all-day intensive on Saturday, which was like 2 Kundalini sessions with a break in between, with some beautiful additional meditation practices. That feels very attuned to me. Like when they talk about spring cleaning, I consider that in here too. So attending that was, really nice because I could prep for it, beginning like Friday evening and then had the day Saturday. And it felt so nice because I never know in attending one of Alex's intensive, like what may show up. And I was just very much with my body, stretching, moving, being still. And it felt really incredibly being present. So like as Nick, you're sharing about being in public, and Shokti, you're talking about retreating, I think, and this idea of how can we be present, right? Be present, be of service, and acknowledge what's happening around us, name it, right? And taking care of ourselves, and how that in itself is a form of activism, right? And because in some way the three of us hold space for others in all kinds of ways, right? How important it is to fill our cups here. I also feel very invigorated by Dolores Huerta and this medicine of truth. I am a cycle breaker, and I am a truth sayer, and I am a person who ever since a very young age has been like, the truth, it really matters. And so I feel, and it's not to take away from any of the survivors from Epstein or anything like that. It's just that when a brown person that looks like me can come forward and tell the truth about something, where I come from lineages of people avoiding the truth, bypassing the truth, denying the truth, fill in the blank. It was anything but the truth. I feel that it's a very healing vibe to witness a person that looks like me being able to come out and say, and this is my story. And I think it's so important right now that we are navigating waters that no matter what the truth is for people, that we take the time to hear them and see and respect people, period, and what they have to say. So I also feel like I'm in this, making sure to keep balanced, hands in the land, and also aware of what's happening as I hold a lot of space for folks in different ways and capacities, making sure this tank is also being tended to. So it's a really interesting balance, right, of algorithms of care going on, because I love holding space for folks. And I also know that that requires me making sure I'm tending here too. So, yeah. A wild time to be on the planet right now, y'all.
Absolutely. Let's just take a breath into all that.
Yeah.
It's a wild, windy day in London town today. The winds are blowing like crazy. The temperature's dropped right down again. And oh my God, the winds have changed. Nature is going for us today.
I love the wind.
How air sign of you.
Yep. Both of us. All of us.
Yeah. 2 Geminis and
all of us?
And yeah, all of us actually, I think, right?
Yeah.
Of course, that's why we're out chatting.
On a Gemini moon, mind you.
I'm a Gemini rising.
Oh, wow.
There's so much Gemini in this space. No wonder why it makes sense why, like, how we were so flighty at the beginning, like just the excitement of being together. And then Nick has that medicine of like, let's ground. Let's come back to the ground before we take flight. It's great.
And I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, Tanya Mark's really good at taking the plane off, and I'm really good at landing the plane.
On the self-care front again, well, a constant one for me is to be in tune with where the moon energies are at. Day by day, I always know where the moon's at, what sign she's giving us, what phase she's in. And it's like that collective emotional energy field that we're working in those days. That's a key component of how I keep myself in the flow as well as possible in the flow of things. I'd like to just offer this thought, really, that as a my big spiritual awakening in the mid-90s came while I was living with AIDS, and I dived into spiritual study and practice. And, I very much got the point that we're all one and it's all love and all of that. And I kind of got the point and experienced it plenty. But they couldn't understand why some days I was like so up and some days was so down and some days so confused. And eventually astrology became the tool that gave me everything I needed to understand the vibrational changes that we're constantly going through. So obviously with the moon giving us a different emotional energy every 2.5 days, switches from a different elemental energy every 2.5 days, sort of following that flow, building that flow into my life, is crucial now. I couldn't live that. I could not go back to live to any kind of normal life where you work from Monday to Friday, 11 months a year. My months are my outward times and my inward times. Same with the sun. The summer I'm out, the winter I'm retreating. This is what AIDS gave me in a way, is realize that to be whole, to be healthy, I need to be in rhythm with the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Shokti, that's beautiful. I love you naming how the tool of astrology as a part of self-care, and that it's so vast. So it's endless possibilities, and there's exploration and that's the invite, is to be with those components. Thank God I've had mentors and elders and folks like you that, are around and share openly. It's about what resonates. It's not about a prescribed, it must be done this way kind of thing. And I think astrology just really is so vast that it invites in this way of being in connection with something greater than ourselves. And in a way, it's like a deep form of self-care. I particularly love associating the days of the week with the planets as well as following the moon.
Me too, yes.
And when I was in physical classroom, right, teaching, I used to teach according to that. So on Mars Day, Tuesdays, an action day would be a great day for getting things done, projects. Yep. Jupiter Day would be great days for more lecture and learning. And I think about that stuff, and Fridays and I think about that in the work that I do with others. And Nick and I, we get together on Queer Spirit. We chose 2 days out of the week that I think are very interesting for our time of co-working. Tuesdays, Mars days, getting our shit done, And then Fridays, the day of peace, love, connection, justice. So attuning to those things as a form of care, right, is another form of activism, because we are saying hey, this is something that's out there greater than us.
Since you're bringing up that subject, let's not forget that Moon Day, Monday, is the day for inner reflection and peace. But our culture, our civilization makes that the day to get up and start the week, go to work. And then everybody's mentally unwell. No surprise.
Yeah. Shokti, I'm curious, since you do a lot of public community events, do you factor in the moon phases and astrology with the moon in terms of what kinds of... I mean, I know you do your monthly full moon circles, so yes, you probably definitely do that. But for the festival, over a course of 5 days, do you factor in where the moon is and what will be going on and what you do each of those days?
Yes. We kind of have to work with what the calendar gives us. We've had it's our third festival at Bridgewell now. So the first festival there was at new moon. So perfect, gentle start of the energy there. Second festival was at full moon the year later. So perfect. So yeah, we will have to work with what the phase is and where the moon currently is. I think we're meeting this time in a waxing moon. I would generally try to hold an event within the 2 weeks around the full moon, certainly not in the waning, the last week of the moon, unless it's a retreat style.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would not really want to be doing a festival on it as the moon is sort of waning in. Although in August, of course, the waning moon is not quite as dramatic on our energy fields as it is in the later months.
Yeah.
Something on astrology, something I'm so excited about with our 10th anniversary festival is we will have an astrology temple this year for the first time.
That's so cool.
dreamed of manifesting. Got two excellent, experienced astrologers. One is 70, and she identifies as fairy pagan from the rainbow community. And then one is in his 30s. They're going to hold this space together. They're so excited. I want to get that conversation. Yeah, the cosmic conversation that astrology takes us into at the festival, of course. And I want queer people to know, well, a couple of things. One, that Age of Aquarius is about gay love. The myth of Aquarius, Zeus and Ganymede, it's about all forms of love. Aquarius, also the most androgynous side of the zodiac. Aquarius is about us going into our androgyny and into our connection with the role of same-sex love, I would say, as a connector of spirit, reclaiming that role in the Age of Aquarius. And the other thing I wish queer people would know is that astrology comes from the temples of Mesopotamia, the temples of ancient Mesopotamia of Inanna, Ishtar, where for thousands of years her priests, who we know from their names and their records and the poems about them were very queer, watched the stars, didn't they? They watched the skies for centuries, millennia even. That's where Western astrology was born. So that queer link into everything magical, if you dig deep enough, you'll find a queer root in everything spiritual.
Thank you for naming that, Queerness as, where it's rooted, and it goes beyond what we can imagine, you know what I mean? And that's a really deep thread. So that's really cool.
So Shokti, can you share the dates for the festival for our listeners?
So this year it is the 13th to the 17th of August. It's in Bridwell Park in Devon, close to a railway station, Tiverton Parkway, just easy connections to Bristol and London. We have glamping tents that are bookable for people who are traveling in from abroad. I already know we have people coming from Tennessee and Oregon and California. I already know are on their way over to join us. So there's room for more.
And what's the website?
queerspirit.net.
Great. So we'll have that info in the show notes where people can find you and the festival and see if they want to make the trek and join you for that fabulous event.
Join us for this exploration into collective rebirth and renewal.
Woo.
For the queer peoples of planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. And just so you know, Queer Spirit US and Queer Spirit UK, our intentions are to continue to cultivate connection with one another. So stay attuned to what that might mean. So thanks Shokti for coming and hanging out. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for all that you're doing.
Queer Spirit is hosted and produced by Nick Venegoni and Tanya Mark Oviedo. This episode was edited by Eric Shackney. Eric is a medium, energetic practitioner, and multifaceted musician with their own healing practice and Patreon offerings via Trans Alchemy, which includes a free monthly embodiment meditation. Check them out on patreon.com/transalchemyofficial. Thanks for listening, and please join us again soon.
Yes, please.